Oh, that's interesting. Okay. First of all, I'm going to take roll call real fast. Patty Potter. Here. Richard. If all the
Here.
okay. Nina. If all the
Here.
members unmute themselves, okay. Liliana, no. Barton.
Yes, here.
Hey, Barton, how you doing? Betty.
Here.
Burge.
Present.
Kathy. Stephanie, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quorum made.
And Cindy's here.
It's, oh, did I call your name? I'm sorry, Cindy.
It's okay.
Okay. Should I share the
Make an announcement regarding the golf course item, that if there's anything about that, it's not on the agenda tonight. It will be brought up under public comment.
yes, okay. Where's my agenda? I'll put the agenda up real fast. Or the next agenda, where's my things, news meeting? Let's just really fast go through the motion, minutes from August 18th or 15th. I'm sorry, does anybody want me to put that up, or does everybody read it?
We read it.
Patty, I'll move to approve the minutes.
Who's that, Cindy?
Yes.
This is Betty. I'll second.
Okay. Is there any questions on it or comments or discussion?
I see one raised hand in the audience, but I'm not sure it's about this item. It's Yvonne. Nope, she took it down. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call for the vote then. Patty, yes. Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Nina,
Yes.
Lillian is not here. Barton,
Yes,
Betty,
Yes.
Burge,
Yes.
Kathy is not here. Stephanie, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, passes. Okay. Item number 4 on the agenda. Where's my agenda? I didn't even put the agenda on my thing. I just want to make number 1, number A, I want to make an announcement that the land use committee has 1 full and 3 alternates, seats open. If you have any interest, please contact me for more information, and I will also send you an application. You can use email patipstnc@gmail.com. Number, oh, there we go. Thank you for putting that up, whoever did that. 8B.
Do you mean 4B?
Yes, 4B. Everybody, please correct me if I'm saying something wrong, because my mind is not quite straight these last couple of months.
Committee member announcements.
Right.
Did you want Richard to give his announcement?
Richard, can you
Oh,
go for it?
yeah, no, it's I wanted to follow up with is this regarding the email about
golf
SB
course.
330?
Yes.
No, it wasn't
No.
about the golf course. Okay, so real
What?
quick, it was related to the golf course. It was another case the city of Los Angeles was dealing with that impacts the golf course. So they had a lawsuit where a project that was denied because the land use had a higher density than what the zoning allowed, and the city denied it. The applicant sued. They got to a court case where the judge made the case that it doesn't matter if there is some amount that's allowed for density, you have to give them the maximum allowable density in the land use, or it's inconsistent with the land use and they don't have to get a zone change. I'm trying to pull it up now. I'm just trying to remember offhand what it was, but in essence it impacted the golf course project because it seemed that it was a way like if that was not appealed, or if that was a ruling that stood, that the golf course would essentially be able to take that same venue and build whatever they wanted without going through a zone change, which is where the project stopped before the zone change was not approved. So I think it was the zone change was not approved. So I just wanted to let everybody know there seemed to be some updates in the court case for the golf course. I don't have access to the court system, so I don't have a way of checking what the filings were, what's been going on, but I just wanted to give people a heads up that this was going on. If someone could look into it, that was basically what I was trying to email everybody about. There's no action to be taken. There's more of a heads up.
Heads up and discussion, maybe. I'm going to put that as a discussion too.
Not today, but next time.
Well,
Like if someone could just look into because I don't have a way of pulling court documents or seeing what was going on, and I don't know if people were following up with. I know a lot of people here were involved in the golf course, or kind of trying to like fight kind of coming in there. I just want to give people a heads up that there might be some motion on a different case that impacts that one. And I noticed a flurry of filings. So I don't know what the city's approach is going to be, whether it's going to appeal. I know in our jurisdiction, they seem to be liking, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that it was
What's
happening.
the bill number again, you said?
I think it was SB 330, but I'm trying to find the email I sent out. Yeah.
okay. So, right now you're doing this under
Announce-
4B, which is okay. It's a committee member announcement. And I know some people want to go further with this. And I was actually going to put this under 8B so that it could be totally explained more, but obviously we did do that. So I'm not really sure.
We'll
Well-
put it for a future agenda item. You can be more prepared.
Okay. Well, when we get to 8B, I might ask for it again, just so that we could possibly discuss it more, because it's status updates on prior sites with the Foothill Corridor, which is involved in. So for now, we're just doing an announcement under 4B that the golf course, that there's an appeal on a different, that might affect the golf course. Just a real brief on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's like a flurry of briefs. and,
okay.
Yeah, so just FYI.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So, then right now, let's go on to, item number 5. Presentation. This is doing, I'm sorry, we're so mixed up tonight. Why is my computer
This
doing
is
all this?
10505 Mount Gleason in Sunland. This is a
Yes,
zoning administrator case 2022-4437 CUB and ENV 2022-4438 CE to allow sale and dispensing of full line of alcoholic beverages for offsite consumption, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Currently, beer and wine is sold.
right. So the the agent for the owner is Lily.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to screen share, or you just want to talk?
If I can screen share, that would be great.
Perfect. Okay,
So I'll promote her so she can screen share.
okay. Lily, do you see the bottom there where it says share screen? Perfect, perfect.
Perfect. And can you guys see it?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, may I start?
Go for it.
Good afternoon. My name is Liliger Damaso with Liquor License Agents, and I will be presenting item number 5 on today's agenda. And this is for a conditional use permit for the corner market located at 10505 North Mount Gleason Avenue. So this is the corner market that's actually located right on the corner of Mount Gleason and Summit Rose Street, if you're familiar with the area. And these are the two lots. So this is the actual corner market. And this lot here in the back is also a part of it. So the request, they are requesting to obtain a new conditional use permit to upgrade their current beer and wine off-sale privileges to include a full line of alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption, which is an ABC type 21 liquor license, in conjunction with the existing 2,155 square foot convenience store. The existing establishment is known as the Corner Market, and it operates daily from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. This case was filed with City Planning on June 22nd, and the public hearing is still TBD as of today. The planner assigned, I have his contact information here, email, phone number, and name. And then, of course, this is the pending CUB case. So a little bit about the ABC license history. The site itself has been licensed, and I just wanted to give you a screenshot. So the first license issued was 191607, and through various tenants, it's just, you know, been used, so to speak, or transferred over. The latest one being the applicant, which is 617761, and that's the current active type 20 license that's at the site. And this is their pending application. And what happened here is that the applicant actually won the lottery. So the Alcoholic Beverage Control of California, the ABC, they host a drawing every year to issue new licenses, and it's commonly known as the ABC lottery. And the main reason as to why applicants join it is because they can get a new license for a very cheap price. This specific applicant was lucky enough to obtain one, but hence, in order for them to upgrade the use, then they have to go through a conditional use permit with the city. This is a license that was originally issued, and I don't know if you can actually see it, but the issue date is 1986. And then the current active license, this one was issued recently on September 17th, 2020. And this is the applicant. And the applicant, just so you know, they are also the property owner. So they purchased the property, and this is a family-owned business. It's husband, wife, and 2 sons. That they took over a couple of years ago, and you know what they're trying to do is just offer as much as they can. I think after COVID, as we all know, a lot of these small businesses, they were hurting a lot, and they just want to be able to offer the same thing that other places or other convenience stores have in terms of distilled spirits. This is the site plan. And again, it shows you the actual corner store, the parking spaces that they do have. And the space right here at the back of it, it is a wooden fence. As of now, it's just gated in. They don't really use it at all. I know that when I spoke to the city, they were wondering if perhaps that's something that could be used in terms of for parking spaces if needed. And, you know, they're more than open to that. But for now, it's just closed. And then this is their floor plan. So this is the entrance of the store. And their plan is to keep the distilled spirits behind the counter, locked. And then, of course, they do have their beer and wine display as they already have. And that's pretty much it for now, for me. What questions may I answer? What concerns? I'm here. Let me know.
Okay, thank you so very much. First, I'll go to the audience. attendees, does any of you have questions? I'm not sure. I don't see anything from any of these, of the attendees. Okay, how about the committee members? Okay, I do have one or a couple.
Yes.
The empty lot, that was where there was a house there. I must have been torn down. I've lost track of time, maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Yes, correct.
This was a residence. So you did say as I've only been in there one time in the current, used to go in there a lot, but so I do notice, because I was wondering if they were going to expand their footprint, but they're not expanding their footprint of the store, right?
No, they're not. They're leaving everything as is.
So where the hard liquor, I'm going to call it hard liquor, the other liquor, bourbon, blah, 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 you
Mhm.
said will behind the counter and not where the wine and beer is then, huh?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. What's my other question? The hours, because I wasn't sure what the current hours were. Are they currently now 7 to 11?
Yes, they are 7 to 11, and they're not proposing any addition to those hours.
Okay. Okay, Cindy?
Yes, thank you very much for coming out and presenting to the Land Use Committee. We appreciate it very much. This site has been here a long time. It's a smaller store, and my question has to do with: are there any other improvements that are going to be considered? Because the site is really in poor, bad, visible from the outside shape, actually inside to some degree. Also, I haven't been inside very often, but when I did go, it looks like it all needs major remodeling. The signage on the for the market is like a piece of plywood, and well, while it's different in terms of its shape, it would be nice if that could be brought up and improved. The other thing is there's bars on the outside. I believe that you can have those kind of things, but they really should be from the inside. And there's another accessory type of business that appears to be going on, which I think it should be part of your explanation when you go to the city with the U-Haul. That's something new. I didn't remember that being there before. And those vehicles take up the parking spaces all around, immediately around the building. So if anybody wants to come to this store, they really are just parking on the street. They're not using the parking spaces that you identified in the plans here. The other is that there's with the vacant lot, and I just was there, a few days ago, and somebody was chasing somebody away who was in the vacant lot. So it's an attraction for anyway, unsavory things. So it'd be nice to see if there's better security for that. And the trash dumpsters are there and things like that. So the area has a restaurant and has a longstanding bar. There's, the market. There's across the street, there's another liquor store. So I just, two of them actually. So I just, it's a saturation a bit in this immediate area. So I just wonder if that's, good for the area. And also, is this being communicated to the city? I suppose it will be, because they'll be able to look up. But anyway, those are my comments for the moment. Really concerned about what it looks like. I just, it could be much, much better. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And if I may answer to that comment, I was actually on the phone with city planning just recently, and that same concern came up. Specifically with the trash, they want a trash enclosure to be built. And of course, the applicant at this point, they're just like, what can we do to help, to help us all, so to speak. So they're open to improving the site as much as they financially can. So that's something that they are aware of, and they're open to ideas. So I'm definitely going to talk to them about the U-Haul situation with the parking spaces. Again, one of the, I guess, positive is that because they do have that open space in the back that they're not currently utilizing, maybe having them utilize that as parking spaces for their patrons. But then I'll also, talk to them about what issues are happening with people being run out of there, or security. I know they do have their cameras and there's lighting, but other than that, that's all they offer. But definitely, I'll take a look at all of this. And in terms of the oversaturation, yes, with the approval, if the city decides to approve the CUP, this type 20 will be surrendered. So there won't be an increase, so to speak, within the census tract of liquor licenses, because it'll be sort of like you're giving up one in order to obtain one, if that makes sense. And then it also has to go through a public convenience and necessity approval with city council. So this is sort of a double whammy type of situation. So we're going to go with the process and hope for the best. And the applicant is very willing to work with the city, with the neighborhood council, to just sort of bring out the best of the property that they now own. And that's where they're at.
Okay, thank you for that. And I'm gonna hit on what Cindy said and what you also said. The store has been there as long as I can remember. And trust me, that goes back to the 50s. And it still looks like, I don't know how to put it, Cindy put it, the signage on the store, it really needs to be updated. It needs to be more clean and nicer looking, my opinion.
Okay.
And whatever they could do to change that, there's a lot of signage. It just needs total updating. And as far as the trash can, I should have paid attention to this and I didn't, but there is a thing where, I don't know if it's a city or if it's a Foothill Boulevard specific plan that says the trash cans need to be hidden behind gates, fence gates, something like that. Cindy mentioned it and I actually didn't pay attention to where it was. So that's the things that I feel would be nice. I have personally no objection to additional liquor. I don't think the store has been, at least not in recent years that I know about, has been an issue with the neighbors. And I will tell you, I did walk the neighborhood and let everybody know. And I did also let the principal at Vertigo Hills High School and the new principal at the, all of a sudden I forgot the name of that other school. That's on Irma and Foothills. So
Mount Lukens.
thank you very much. So I've seen neither one of them on as attendees. So, and I did send a reminder. So, that's good. They had no issues with it, even though they're out of the distance that is required for liquor, alcohol, for schools. But I did check with them, so they don't seem to have a problem with it. They're not here, and I'd send a reminder. So anyway, I just think that'd be really great if they could upgrade the looks of that market.
Definitely.
That's my concern. I don't know if that has anything to do with this approval, but anyway. So does anybody else have anything comments to make?
Yes, Patty, I have a question.
Okay, Burge.
Okay. Yes, I have a question regarding the parking. I think Cindy also asked about this. I want to, can you tell us what is the requirement of parking spaces for this scope of type of business? Since now we are increasing, I'm sure you have more customers coming to the market. What is the requirement and how many parking lots or spaces are available right now?
Yes, so for the existing retail store, the requirement for that is actually a total of 8 parking spaces per the certificate of occupancy, and they actually provide 9.
Okay, and my second question is, how come we don't have any diagram or sketch or that shows where is the parking, how it's gonna, the entrance, the exit, or all the parkings are outside? There isn't anything that clarifies this.
They're right here in the site plan, sir. Mhm.
Okay. Can you please enlarge, zoom it?
Of
so I
course.
can see it? Yes.
Here you go. So the corner, it's located right on Mount Gleason Avenue and Summit Rose Street.
Mhm.
So these are the parking spaces that are right in front of the store, and you can see there's
Okay.
the entrance and
You know,
egress.
can I make a correction, not a correction, but for people to understand? To me, that's on the side of the store. The front of the store is actually the entrance, the front entrance. To me, that's the side of the store, and then empty lot is also to the side. So that empty lot is actually, just so people know, is actually on the north side of the boulevard. It's not behind. In other words, I don't have, right, I know, whereas the 5, 6, 7, 8 is, to me, that is on the side of the store, not behind the store. Am I right or wrong? And
Yes.
yeah, okay,
So the entrance is from Mount Gleason?
yes. They actually do, Verge, have an entrance on the side where the 1, 2, and 3, 4 parking spaces are noted.
Mhm.
But I would say, in my experience of all these years that market being there, people usually park along Mount Gleason because there's plenty of room to park, and they go in the front door where they, can you move your cursor, Lily,
Yes.
to show where the main front door is?
So the front door, are you talking
Right.
about this
Yes,
sidewalk here?
yes, yes.
I see.
That's the main front door that I've hardly ever seen anybody use the side door where the 1, 2, and 3, 4 is. So just so you know, Verge, okay?
Okay, thank you.
This is Cindy again. Yeah, I think that the door, the front door there is, you have it, it looks like it's a large front door, but I think it's just a single door. And maybe they don't open the other side, maybe it exists there. So that's something to take into consideration too. And that might be that way for security reasons. If you were to open up this other lot for more additional parking, you know, you probably, I mean, you'd have to have lighting and you'd have to have, you know, more plans for that. I think it slopes also, possibly downhill. I don't think it's level, but I could be wrong on that. So,
I have one more concern here. When for the cars that they are parking in lots 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, when they want to back up, are they backing up towards Mount Gleason, or they have exit from the other side?
To my knowledge, they back up Mount Gleason.
So isn't that dangerous to back up against Mount Gleason?
I mean, I think it's the same when you have parking spaces, even on Summit Rose, it's the same.
But Summit
situation.
Rose is
You
not
back up.
crowded, or traffic is much less on Summit Rose versus Mount Gleason.
Like I said, that's something that was approved with a certificate of occupancy and hasn't been an issue, but if that's something that is a concern, how do you propose then parking to be able to be set for them there? Not having them back up here or simply exit through here.
Exactly, change the exit.
Well, I'm gonna butt in there. To change the exit where she pointed to the back there, that goes on to that street behind it, Greenborn, whatever it is, which is a dead end street, which is very difficult to get in and out of off of Summit Rose. Or yeah.
What about turning it this way around the?
I would think turning it like 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is, yeah, because that lot's kind of wide.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know what the really width is.
Good.
But I agree. Just the point, I'm familiar with that area, maybe not so much in the last few years, but past years, the amount of traffic or the amount of customers it gets parking on Mount Gleason and going into there never seemed to be a problem. But like I said, it's been years since I've really used it. And when I was a kid, they do have actually two doors. One always went towards the ice cream and one went towards the market. So we were always in the one door going towards the ice cream. I don't know.
Can I ask real quick, can I share my screen and Lilja, you could, I just wanted to give context to everybody.
Okay.
Stop share.
I see this works. Is this the Burj? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
This is what I think that's the site, right? Corner Market.
Yes,
And this is what's being proposed, that there's gonna be 5 spots in this area?
yes.
Or is this fence gonna be moved?
No, the fence is as is.
so this is enough for 5 spaces?
Correct.
But the cars parked differently than they are right now. That black car being parked, I don't know what you'd call it, back and forth or,
No, it's just lined up in a line.
right, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
you're right, okay.
What's the dimension? First of all, this looks very narrow, and second, obviously this is very dangerous when the car backs up towards the street. You see, there is a car parked here, even blocks the site view.
I'm sorry, but this, and just for context, this was already approved. This is a pre-existing site plan.
Yes.
Right,
an
but
existing site.
now you are increasing your the number of people that visiting here because you are adding something else.
Well, it already offers beer and wine, sir.
Right, now you are
And
adding
they're
another
not- They're
item.
not adding square footage. The city will have an issue with parking if you're adding square footage. That's when you
But-
have to take a look at the parking that's allowed. So far, the city has no issue with the parking as is.
I get
Okay.
it. The city goes by the square footage and not by the customers you expect.
Exactly.
Okay.
I
Now,
guess,
if they were
customer-
adding square
Customer
footage,
doesn't
then yes.
change, so the customer number doesn't change. If the items are changing, if you are selling more stuff, more merchandise, doesn't affect on the number of the visitors?
I
that
mean,
is correct.
well,
And just so you know, this is under ZI 2498, which is a local emergency temporary regulations for time relief, and there's a parking relief. So that's an ordinance that was approved. So because it's an existing site that's not adding any type of square footage, and also due to the time limits and parking relief, the ordinance that was approved for COVID, parking is not an issue.
because the emergency ordinance is still effective.
Yes. And that's ZI 2498.
I guess my main concern was, when was the parking approved? Was that recently?
No, I mean, the site has, let me look at the building permits.
Because what Burge is saying about the dimensions seems accurate. This can't fit 5 standard.
Obviously can't. I'm surprised they are saying 5.
So was it initially somewhere here and the fence was moved, or was it like an old plan that's just handwritten? Because it looks like it was just handwritten squares on a thing.
I also have here, I mean, recent pictures that the applicant sent me.
Yeah, I can stop sharing. I'm just
Um,
asking this question because I'm curious about it. I'm more concerned about the aesthetics. Like if
Richard,
it's,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
Richard, even if they move the fence, they don't have driveway exit to it.
that one is, I would say, like, if they already approved it and they had some guy at Public Works look at it, it's not impossible. It's not,
It
It's
is
not the
possible, but
best.
it is not organized in a way that you can see that there's a clear entrance, exit, the flow of the traffic. It's nothing here, it's clear.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know, like, you know, has there been previous accidents there? I don't know. Like people, I understand what you're saying. It does,
Yeah.
it,
And if
you're,
it
if you
didn't have
park,
an accident, doesn't prevent it happening it later.
yeah, I just, I'm used to it. I've seen it elsewhere. So it does that, I'm just, I understand what you're saying. I just.
Okay.
But I'll stop sharing. I thought you,
Lily was gonna share
I
something
think-
more.
yeah, Lily. Sorry, did I say that wrong, Lily?
It's fine. The picture that they sent me, I'm trying to look at the picture that the applicant sent me. I can send this. Let me send it to myself.
And it's an amendment to the conditional use permit that currently exists.
There is no conditional use permit. It's grandfathered because it was issued, I mean, the first license was back in 1986.
Oh, so then doesn't this now need a conditional use permit then?
Correct, because they're upgrading from a 20 to a 21.
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I'm just.
So while she's doing that, for me, you know, this photograph that Richard showed doesn't show the U-Haul business that's now been occupying there.
Oh.
There are several trucks that are parked in the space. And while that is maybe can be worked through, I think that needs to be made aware. But aesthetically, the frontage of the store, I mean, if by cutting off the parking accessibility, just leaves it to be a space that is, how do I say, a magnet for lingering or loitering or something like that, which I have seen there numerous times, where people often for days. So, you know, I whatever can be done to improve the site so that it looks better and is more inviting and welcoming for everybody. I would think that the owners want that as well.
Absolutely.
Cindy, I would say if beside making it more, they have to make also, I think, clear where are the lines that separates this 5 spots of parking lot, so we can see clearly that really fits 5 cars over there. It's not even divided.
Yeah. And I don't think that fence that was shown, I know that was a Google thing probably, and I don't think it looks exactly like that at this point in time. I think it's been stepped back.
If I may, I have the pictures.
Perfect.
Let me, you can, okay, share screen.
And there's probably going to be some landscaping you're going to need to
Yes.
bring into play, as well as the sign. Oh, you've got a lot of signs on the, you know, just sticking up all over. Those are not.
Well, as the ABC, one of the conditions, if it's approved, is the removal of those signs.
Which signs?
Just the signs.
The
in
window
general.
signs?
Yeah,
Oh,
the window
oh, yeah.
signage. if
Yes,
it's approved,
please.
Oh,
and
good.
that's something that they're aware of. That's going to be one of the conditions that if it's here, that's what it is. So they know. So this is a picture that they send me. This is probably what, within like the last month or so. And that shows you how they have the cars. And yeah, there's the U-Haul there, obviously.
Okay, so as you can see, 5 do fit along there. Not,
It was
Okay,
moved.
4 cars, and they are the 5th one, if there is a space, it's far away from the exit. There's no driveway in front of that.
no, I agree with you. I don't know really what the requirements, if the parking places have to have access right off to a driveway. Do they have to? I don't know. But because, well, I'm gonna back up a minute. That new hall, I just noticed that sign today. Do they have a permit or use, conditional use? I don't know if that's needed to do the U-Haul. To me, that's a totally different business than a retail store, liquor store.
So
Did I-
the U-Haul, if I may, that's something that you're stating the applicant is operating?
Well, there's a sign up there, plus there's a sign on the building, U-Hauls. So this is also a different business do they have a permit to run a different business than a liquor store, than a convenience store?
No, and I wasn't aware that that's something that they operated.
Well, there's a big sign on the side of the building.
So you can grab a drink and jump in your U-Haul. I'm kidding.
I mean, it's
No.
just, that was my number one question I was gonna get to, that I know you don't see it in this one, but right on the side, on the Valmont or Summit Road side, there's a little sign on the building that says U-Hauls. So do they have, Lily, you may know this, I don't know. I don't personally absolutely know this, but it would seem to me to run a U-Haul business would need a whole different permit license. I don't know.
I mean, could we
That,
search
I
it?
mean, that's out of my scope of work. I deal specifically with liquor licenses, but I mean, obviously, I had no idea that they had the U-Haul business running from the site. That's, something else that I would have to speak to
We
them.
have we
And
have a gas station that in Jahunga that has U-Hauls. And because they're an existing gas station, having a U-Haul business wasn't a big deal, but they have a much larger site for parking the vehicles and so forth. So this is something that seems to have been added more recently.
Right, I
But it would
agree.
be it would be good to clear it up and where these are gonna park and so forth.
Yes, definitely. Well, then that's something that I would have to address with them. If in fact, number one, they are running a U-Haul business, if number one, if they're authorized to do so, by the city. And second, how is parking of the U-Haul, being utilized for versus the patrons for their convenience store?
Right.
Yep.
Because right off, I can get my voice down, I'm sorry. I mean, right off, just with the parking here that we're showing in this picture would be great for their employees. I mean, maybe they only have 2 at a time employees, as opposed to customers. But
Well-
once again, I mean, they all are also depending on front of the store, which is at least 2 or 3 spaces in front of the store. I don't really know, the city parking.
Yeah,
So,
what was the entire 9 required? You said it was 4 required and 8 was required.
Mhm.
So there, it doesn't seem like the U-Haul use is well, no, there's 2 trucks, so it looks like they've taken 2 the required. So they're down 1 from what's required for the U-Haul use. I think that's where, that might be a point of impact, is you have this extra use, it's now taking the required parking. Or maybe there is no required parking required for the U-Haul use, but it seems like that can't be the case,
oh, that would be more so parking than anywhere else, I would think,
right?
any other business, but I don't know. Okay.
I think, Richard, your observation is correct. This wall has been extended. That's why we see the new picture. The parking lot is much smaller than the one that right now we see.
No,
it
it's
now.
it's flipped. This I think is newer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The one in Google Maps, the reason it was misleading was that was the old picture.
Okay.
So that's why I was asking when the site plan was done, because if it was the old site plan, then I guess before they had expanded the fence and taken out the parking, and now they were bringing it back to whatever it was before, or was this what they're now proposing, 5 new spots? So that's kind of my,
Yeah.
But why there isn't any diagram to clarify this?
that is the applicant's answer, but if it was old, I would have said they don't always require, like if it's an old site plan, you could do it by hand. They used to call them hand drawn, like
Mm.
plot maps or whatever. My house has a drawn square, so that's depends on when you brought it in. So I'll let Lily answer that then.
I mean, when you look at the certificate of occupancy for the site, this is an old, I don't even know the state, but I can't even look at the image.
Yeah.
In terms of the site plan that was drawn and approved, I'll be more than happy to share the building permits with you as well.
So,
I have a
Betty has a-
question or a comment. I can't tell how wide the area is in front of the, or deep the area in front of the cars is, but the fifth car would have to go, would have to pull forward and then turn. And I'm not sure it wouldn't be forced to travel across the sidewalk. And the same is
Exactly.
true with the fourth one, that they might be driving on the sidewalk in order to get to the driveway.
Yeah, I agree. That's why if they were parked parallel, you come in here and park towards the fence. 1, 2, 3, 4. That way you back up and go out the driveway as opposed to the way they're parked here. Would be my thought, because I'm not going to back into a place if I'm going to use this store. I'm going to drive in the driveway and then make a left to park normal parking in where they were all head in against the fence. Does that make sense? I don't know how many could fit. I'm sure at least 3 would be able to fit that way. Then they back out and go out the driveway. Like any other parking place, just like you do on the other side of the building. Anyway, I don't know. Go ahead.
One last question, I just, as part of the application, and this is maybe directed towards the applicant, would
Yes.
the existing approvals be rolled into the new conditional use permit, or would they be kept separate? So in other words, would there be constantly coming back to have a, to meet these standards? Would everything be kind of tied together, or like if something happens in the future, the CUP lapses, just this additional use lapses? Is that kind of a weird question?
Are you referring to like if the CUP is approved for the type 21?
Yeah,
ready
so
to
say,
upgrade to the
yes,
liquor license? Yes. So there's going to be a letter of determination with new set of conditions. And those will sort of precede whatever was there before.
okay,
But
and
there
now,
really isn't a CUB there since it was grandfathered. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
this would be it.
so the grandfather, and if, let's say in the future, hypothetically, the CUP lapses, they don't want the alcohol use there, it wouldn't just, the underlying, the grandfathering you mentioned, or the pre-existing alcohol use,
Mhm.
that wouldn't just remain with the land, that would be gone as well.
Yes, that would be gone simply because if there's a new one, a new CUP, and then we have to record the master covenant agreement, that one will take over anything grandfathered, not grandfathered, that will be it. And then if
Okay.
they don't use, let's say, hypothetical, they get the approval, they get the 21, the liquor license, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out financially, within a year, they have to close. If the site, I mean, the use itself is gonna run with the land.
Yeah,
So if a new tenant comes over and they want to have a 21, as long as it hasn't been more than a year since the use hasn't been used, so if it hasn't been vacant or there's been like a consistent use of it, then they should be okay. But if, let's say, it's been 2 years and it's been a vacant lot and a new tenant comes, then they would have to reapply for a new conditional use permit, a new type, everything again.
okay.
Oh, okay, are there any more questions from anybody? So I don't know if we're ready to make a decision or if we want to look into this more. You don't have a hearing date yet, do you?
No, I mean, I think if I can be honest, I would feel more comfortable going back to the applicant and going through all of these points, right? Like the vacant lot, the security, the improvement, and have them show a little bit more effort in terms of providing, right? Because I'm sure the zoning administrator in the city, they're also going to come back with these issues. So I'd rather take care of them now if that's something that they're planning on doing, and then coming back if possible to you guys and just sort of presenting you with updates. of this is what it looked like a month ago or 2 months ago, and this is what it looks like now, and then we can, you can decide whether or not you oppose or support the proposition, the entitlement.
Is everybody comfortable with that on the committee?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes. That would be perfect.
And then
That would be
one
great.
question that I would like to ask, I will talk to them about the possibility of perhaps opening up their, this lot here, because per them, it's not being used. If they open this up where the parking is not, provided like this, but they can just drive in and then be able to safely egress, is that something that you would be comfortable with?
I
I would.
would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, like I said, if they drive in the driveway and they park facing, the front of their car faces the fence, so you'd have X
Mhm.
amount down that way, and it sees there's enough room for them to back up and go out the driveway.
Okay.
I think that'd be perfect. Look at this
Okay.
picture here.
I
Actually,
agree with Patty.
and I'm glad those 4 vehicles are parked there, because it gives you a better perspective of really how deep or how wide that area is there. So, yeah.
Yes.
So I will definitely talk to them about that. They were open to that anyways, but I think it's good to just make it official
Yeah.
and just, we'll play it by ear and see what happens.
Okay. Well, I will check with you later, just so you know, we do meet the 1st and 3rd Mondays of
Okay.
the month. So I will get with you later with the dates on when you can come back. Okay?
All righty, perfect. Thank you very
Perfect.
much.
Thank
a
you very,
wonderful
very
evening.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. Okay, let's get on to item number 6. Motion to approve the support letter for 10371 and 10405 Samoa Avenue. You want me to put that on there, or let me put that on there?
Go ahead, I'll stop. There.
Okay. Let me see what I got going here. I got to open that up first. Now I go back to here. Oops, here. Zoom. Why can't I get back to my Zoom? There it is. Okay, here. Okay. I did send it to everybody. Oh, I thought I made those in red. I mean in black. Oh, that was this, I guess. Okay. This is draft number 2. I thought I changed those all to black. Sorry, everybody. So everything that's in red is now black. Everything that's crossed off is not there. So does anybody have any questions or comments?
What? So I got lost. This was something we wrote earlier and now it's changed because there was
Well,
maybe I missed the last meeting.
yeah, we just, it
There's 2
kind of,
projects?
pardon me?
There's 2 projects adjacent to each other?
Yeah, 2 pieces of property. Originally, they came in with the 10405 Samoa, which they were going to subdivide into 3 lots. And actually, we did approve that. And then they were coming in with the lot next door to it. So the city recommended that they put aside their original application for the 10405 and then do this application to make into one application, so that there's now 2 lots that they want to subdivide into a total of 7. So that, and will be a driveway or a street, you might say, down between the two lots, which would be a 20-foot, you meet the 20-foot requirement, and each one will go into a driveway into all 7 houses or 7 properties, which they do plan on putting residential homes up there, and they did say the residentials will meet the minimum 5,000 square feet.
So there's
Per.
two distinct properties
Mhm.
adjacent to each other, designed in a way that they don't interact with each other.
What do you mean that they don't interact?
So there's the 2 lots are adjacent to each other.
Uh-huh.
We looked at one, he said there's just 4 lots we're being divided into. We said, sure. He also presented, I mean, maybe I missed something. He presented a second time. He didn't present the second time, what?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
originally, a couple of months ago, it was 10405. And he was dividing that into 3 lots. And it was approved, but when he came up with the 10371, the city suggested that he put aside the 10405, the original application, and put this a combined application into to make it a 10 of where I put the number to the TT 8384 and such.
And that should be a tentative tract map.
Yeah, I don't-
And there will be a private street
right.
going down between the 2 lots. Or the 2 property, between the 7 lots along
Yes.
along the 2 properties in the center.
Is that what we saw earlier, the design we saw?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
okay. Well,
I'm
why,
not what?
that, if that's something we already saw, it sounds like we're talking about something different, but okay, I'll shut up.
Yeah, no, they came to the meeting, did I say here when August 15th, last month. And we approved it to support, but we didn't write the letter then, so we had to write the letter to get it approved now.
Okay,
So, let's move it so we can discuss it further. Does anybody want to move to approve this letter?
I want to discuss it.
I'll move to approve the letter, provided the tentative tract map in the subject line becomes, instead of TRACE, it becomes TRACT.
What line we talking about? The case number?
Supportive project.
Oh,
It's a tentative tract map.
okay, and that's not right?
it just says misspelling. It's,
Oh,
it auto-corrected to trace instead of tract.
oh, thank you very much. It should be a K, not an E, right?
T.
No,
Thank
T,
you.
TT,
Oh.
just one T,
TRAC,
T.
oh, a T. Like that?
Mhm.
Tract. Oh, it's not a track, it's a tract. Okay, thank you.
Tract.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. Anything else? Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, me.
Okay, we need a
Yes.
second.
No. I thought Nina has some
I thought
discussion.
Nina did.
Oh, did
Yeah, I
Nina do
do.
that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
My
Okay,
turn.
what?
I just want to know if there's a possibility it will be like, become a small gated community.
I didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
I'm wondering if it would become a small gated community.
Is if it's gonna be a gated?
Yeah,
Gated,
small
like
gated
access controlled.
community. Yes,
I don't think we asked that question.
I think we should.
Why?
Well, or can we just add it as a condition? If, does you not like it to be,
No, I
Gated off?
don't. No,
Why?
because then it's hard to access it for anything else. It's just like having all these apartments where you can't get in to leave any kind of information or anything.
or it implies that they're
It's-
gating off people on the outside.
Exactly. Have a street full of them.
Well,
I think it can be added as a sentence, just to say that it was not mentioned that it's a gated community, something like that, and very, you know.
okay, give me the verbiage down here under, do I do it in the bullet or not the bullet?
In a bullet.
Mm,
Oh, no. Because that's the things that he stated, isn't
Okay,
it?
all right, so do I just put it as a separate paragraph at the bottom? And what do I put?
should be an open community, open to the public.
What?
It should be an open community to the public.
This approval is based upon
It
the
being an
idea
open,
that this will not be a gated community.
there
Yeah,
you go.
that's perfect.
Or I think, yeah,
It's short and simple.
God, I can't type. That,
Okay, this approval is based upon the idea or the condition that that this will not be,
A private gated community.
private / gated,
Uh-huh.
how's that look now?
I think we need to go back and do a little editing. The approval is based upon the condition or the understanding. Understanding is a better word. Okay, now after that,
Wait a minute, I got too many there's, okay,
yes. After that, between that and will,
Yep,
that this
project.
will, you got an E on not, so you've made it note. Be A. Take out the slash and leave a space. Isn't that the way it should read?
Yes,
okay,
thank you.
okay, anything else?
I'm satisfied with it.
Okay, I'm gonna call for the vote. Patty, yes. Richard,
sure, yes.
Cindy,
Yes,
Nina,
Yes,
Liliana's not here. Barton,
no,
Betty,
Yes.
Burge,
No,
Kathy's not here. Stepping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we only have 5 yes, 2 no's. Going by our things, it does not pass. Can I ask why you guys aren't voting for it?
say it one more time. Sorry, Patty.
Or can I ask that?
Can I ask what?
Why I'm just wondering why you're not voting yes. or why
Well,
you're
because
voting no.
we discussed about this, Patty, for a long time. We are not
Also-
gonna discuss this one more time.
what's happening is we have seen many big pieces of land like this has been divided. And many contractors are doing this and just turning one house into 4 house, 5 house, or 2 house turning to 8 or 7 houses, just turning like into a matchbox houses in this community.
Well, they
have seen
still
some.
would, they still would have to, if the city, they still have to meet the city requirements once they do a house there. It's not like they cannot, if they're going to, they still have to go by the city's requirements. Okay, I'm not going to argue this point. So we're not going to support this project. That's all I can say. We're not supporting it.
Yes, that seems to be the case.
Yes.
Okay, next.
Okay.
Sorry for. I know you put a lot of work into it.
Okay, next item. Number 7, the zoning regulations, which I sent everybody, which is totally confusing to me.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my item, and this came up because people make inquiries in the community, and it leads to these documents. So I thought it would be good to share these documents with you. The links there go straight to the planning department. I'm going to click on them and see on the first one if it will show up. I don't know if it will. Probably not. No.
Oh, this thing sucks. I remember this. Oh,
And
sorry, thought I was muted.
so it says permitted uses by, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that again.
You know what? Can I interrupt you a second? I need to go back to 6A or number 6, this support or not support. It was voted to not support. I need somebody to write the non-support letter.
No,
And
oh, okay, sorry.
Verge or Barton, do either one of you want to write the non-support letter?
Right now, right now I cannot do it because I'm tied up pretty bad with my workload. If it was maybe not this season, I can't, as far as timing, I don't have the time, to be honest.
How about you, Verge?
Yes. I was muted, sorry. Yeah,
I
first
need
of all,
somebody
I
to write-
barely made I'm extremely busy, but again, everything is ready. The discussion that we have done last time, I think you have clear idea. Just change.
Okay,
the letter
can
that
you
it is
can
we
you
are
give
not
me your
supporting.
ideas again? Because I
There were many things. I
What,
don't think we have
that
to
they might
revisit
build
this
something
topic
that's
one
not
more time.
allowed? You want me to put on there that they might build something that's not allowed by the city? Is that how I'm supposed to say it?
Everything with this, we discussed this project thoroughly almost, and the points were very clear. So all you need to do is just to rephrase them.
All right,
But-
never mind,
but-
never mind. I'm, okay, I'm
Today
muting
is-
myself.
Today
we-
is just to vote yes or no. This is, I don't think it's, it should be open to discussion today about this project.
And we would, okay. I don't want to belabor it, but I thought we could take 3 options. We don't say anything. We support, we recommend denial, or we recommend not
No,
support.
sorry, Richard. We want to say something about this project. It's not like
Yes.
we want to
Yes.
say something about this project.
Okay. But then, but like every other time we had a project, we'd have to vote to see if people want to say something, right? I'm just asking the process. So we don't want to say yes, but we would need to take a vote to decide if we want to say no. Right?
That's true.
Say it one more time, Richard.
So like we have to vote to decide if we're going to say something positive. We also have to vote to decide if we're gonna say something negative. Sometimes we could decide we don't want to say something positive, but we also don't want to say something negative. That's when we just don't take a position. They're gonna do
So-
what they're gonna do.
So this is something new. So when we don't agree and then we don't pass it and then we have to vote, we change the voting style.
No.
Exactly.
No one has to change. No one has to. We're getting into like the weirdness, but it's not changing. I'm just. When Patty was saying we have to now oppose it, we don't have to oppose it. We could just.
Well, this is the issue. We want to oppose it.
Yes, we
It's
want to
not-
oppose
It's not
this.
saying something, you are saying something.
Okay.
When you
Oh, I
don't
see, I
say
see.
something, you are saying something.
Okay.
I
Okay.
Let me just say that I don't think that we're saying we want to oppose it. You two are saying you want to oppose it.
Yes,
We're
Yes.
not saying we want to oppose it. So what the vote really did was say the letter was not acceptable as written.
Mhm.
Because we already voted to approve it, I believe, in the last meeting.
The one lot, yes, because the fact, Burge did bring up the fact, what are they gonna put on that? And I confirmed with the city planner that that application had nothing to do with what they were gonna put on it. Once they put something on it, then that's gonna be a whole different application. But the only thing it was the original application for the 10405 or whatever the address is, was to approve or not approve the subdivision. It didn't matter what they were going to put on it. And you guys kept saying, well, what are they going to put on it? And she told me that had nothing to do with it.
Well.
Well, she
yeah.
can say, she can say a lot of things, but we have to say something that has the potential. And just
Okay,
like
can you write it
Vartan
out?
was mentioning,
Burge, can you write it
Yeah,
out for
yeah.
us so we can approve another letter? Then please do that.
I don't have time. I explained myself very clearly last time. And all I can say, yes or no right now. If you want to pass it, but from my side, it's no.
Okay, Verge, I don't think that that's fair to the committee because a lot of effort goes into these letters. And you take a position, you should be able to at least write up a quick draft so that it can be incorporated in the letter.
Just
doesn't
because
have to
if
be
I
a
want,
finished-
if for everyone who rejects something, doesn't mean that he has to write a report about the rejection reasons.
Okay, but the inverse is true. If we don't want to reject it, they don't have to write a letter saying they reject it. I guess it's more of a work question now. But I see what you're saying about the piecemealing. But I thought that was a different question. So you're worried about a developer coming in there saying, here's the project, don't worry about the rest of it. We go along and we missed our opportunity to stop the bad project. And then later on, they'll come in there and use some, loopholes to get a project done we never would have given any kind of approval to in the earlier stages, right?
Yes, like.
Well,
putting
and
two
we have been
houses on a
through
lot
this,
because of
Richard,
an
and we have
ADU.
been through projects like this. They come and say something, and in reality, it's totally different thing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm
And I can give examples. One of the examples, the auto body shop that it is on Foothill Boulevard, adjacent to the new Arne Cafe, that big. They came here and they were saying totally different thing, and now go and see the mess over there.
The auto body shop, where?
The one that you were supporting it
Where
on Foothill Boulevard.
on
okay.
Foothill
that
Boulevard?
The one,
at
the one
Alberton?
that part of it's on a creek.
The part is what? I'm sorry.
It's
on a creek
yes.
It's the-
over.
Oh, over that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
if
never-
it-
Last week or a couple of weeks ago, there was maybe 100 cars over there parked in that parking lot.
okay, if it
Well,
helps Burge and
That
Vartan, I
never
can.
was an application anyway, so that's a moot point.
If it helps, I can work with you guys to write a letter. I'll write the letter and I'll work with you to work out the language since you guys don't have time. And then later
Okay.
on, we'll bring it back and they can vote. Sounds
Okay,
good?
That's good. That's good with me.
Okay.
Birch, let's get this thing down together and with Richard.
To do, sorry, it's not, this is not a project for Richard or Patty or something. This has something to do with If you agree or you don't agree. If you approve the project, fine. But I'm not gonna, from my side, I don't want to participate in this type of agreement or support to
No.
projects like this.
Because I have seen projects like this. It's like right next to my cousin's house. And it's forget about there's a parking place. I go there. I have to walk 2 blocks and then walk over there, go to the house because somebody came, split this lot and built 7, 8 box houses. And they are all not even a single place for parking for the people.
Well, you know,
over
that's
there.
that's the city's fault for allowing it. That's the whole thing. The city is allowing those to be happen.
The city can
Right.
vote yes, but we voting no.
Okay, I do think that it would be good to communicate these points. And so, Richard, thank you. I think you're
Yeah, no worries.
taking this on would be great. And let's do it. And we'll come back next meeting or 2 meetings from now and deal with it then. Okay? I think that's a better plan.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
one concern, if we decide not to support the letter, then we need to go back and change our vote, reconsider the issue and change the vote. Am I
Okay.
correct?
The draft will be circulated in advance and so everybody can come prepared to that meeting.
Well, that was a question not about whether the letter would be submitted, but if we take an action to reconsider the approval, will we not have to go back and change and re-vote on it?
Right, because we originally voted to support.
That would be part of the agenda item at the time.
Okay, that was my question.
To amend the, okay. Okay, Nina's your
Nina,
hand up for that
yeah.
reason? No. Nina? Oh, she took her hand down. Okay. All right, sorry, babe,
No.
let's go on. What, Richard?
Oh, never mind. I thought she was.
Okay, let's go on to what Cindy's talking about, the zoning. The new
So
zoning.
this is the document. You can get to it from the city planning website. As you can see, it's 178 pages. And these are lists of in various zones, uses that we can, and it's a very convoluted document, but look at, it has a February 10th date here.
Yeah, there's some if even older, right? Or am I thinking of something else? I had even an older date.
So you'll notice that you read page 1, and so I just want you to become familiar with it. I think that you should be aware. We've had in our specific plan that tattoo businesses aren't allowed. According to this, they are now. And so there you have it.
Yeah, such as a tattoo
Oh.
store you can have now.
Those are all the amendments.
Right.
The big, fat, colorful, whatever you want to call it is.
Keep it
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to say it, but
This one,
it's just a mess. I've
it's
always.
terrible. It is
Yeah.
really terrible. And you know, La Crescenta, I think it's the county has a community standards district, and I think it's well done. And also the Glendale portion, they have their uses, and I think they do a good job with the way they have theirs laid out. But here, I don't know. I look over here and I see the same thing over here, and I'm like all confused. So anyway, you really have to listen to, read it and follow, all of it carefully.
Yeah,
Anyway, I wanted you to be aware of it. I wanted people to be aware of it. And that was the reason. So we don't need to go through it, but you will find, when you can't sleep at night, this is a nice document to bring up and then, take a look. And then you can always ask somebody at city planning a question. So I'm going to stop share that. And then the other document I wanted to talk about is the specific plan. And the one that comes up the most is the specific plan areas. Let's see if this is the one. Okay. This one will be good to show you because most of you know this already. But Sunland Tujunga has the entire Foothill Boulevard corridor is in the Foothill Boulevard corridor specific plan. And then the green area that you see is the San Gabriel Verdugo Mountains Scenic Preservation specific plan. So the very quick differences in the two is they do not want any tall buildings up on ridge lines in the mountainous areas in the scenic corridor. So anytime that there's some kind of application, we will get usually copied on that, even if they're down here in a lower area, because they fall within this green area. Okay, but the commercial area here we have target areas and major activity areas. And so recently there was an application for a cannabis related business on Foothill near the World Gym, or I think I may have changed names, but you know the place. And that's across from Queens. And it's in a major activity area. So how is that considered? How does that application get considered when it's in a target area? Because the planning department really only looks at applications that are in target areas or major activity areas. Commerce Avenue, the 2 blocks of Commerce above Foothill is target area and major activity area. And the idea and the purpose of that was to enhance and improve, the shopping area and so forth like that. The problem that we run into is people don't go and pull building permits. And if nobody pulls a building permit, they don't know that these things come into play. But pay attention to the outlying areas like over here and how it goes. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but how it goes further in. And then there's some that are tighter in where they're right on the borderline of a major activity area or target area, and the property's just outside of it. So and that it's pretty interesting that there's like next to the post office in Tujunga and things like that. Those are like that. We have only a few properties in and around, speaking of the post office in Tujunga, that are manufacturing zones. So you have more latitude in what can be done in those areas. And hopefully we'll keep those areas and the zoning for that too going forward. So I just wanted to share this with you. There is a video with the zoning administrator at the time who helped to draft and be part of the Foothill Corridor specific plan. And you can get to that link from the STNC's website. So you can hear what the thoughts were at the time. These in going forward in the future, when they start to update our community plan, these will be blended into the new community plan. That's the plan, and everybody's property will have designations to where it'll be a long string. You'll be able to see how tall they can go and what uses can be and all that kind of thing. That's part of what's called Recode. So that's been going on for several years now, but when I would expect that our community plan will probably go up for being updated maybe next year sometime or a year and a half from now, something like that. And so, the more that you can know what we have, then the more it will help you. So there you have it. I hope it's helpful. And, a lot of people will call and want to know what they can do on their property. What's the zoning, are this, are that, and how many units they can build, and, all these different kinds of things. So if the committee can be informed and educated, then you can answer those questions or direct them to where they can get the answers. So I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. Cindy, I have a quick question to you.
Mhm.
For the diagram that you were showing for the area that it is the targeted area or the commercial versus the other area, I know it's little too late, very late to ask this question or a suggestion. If there is any buffer area between these two important zones or areas, let's say, is there is
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by,
like to separate these two areas from each other, like a buffer area, like a green area or something.
Hmm,
So it's not like straight line. Here is the 5-story building, and then after that you have no right to do it. So it's like gradually separating these two areas from each other.
no, I think that's where public participation comes into play and people making, whether we provide comments collectively as a land use committee or whether we provide comments as a individual. I think that that's what's important. As some of you may know that the Masonic Lodge on Valmont, which is just, you know, the alley is the thing behind Commerce Avenue. You know, there's an alley on each side on the 2 blocks of Commerce.
Mhm.
Immediately next to the alley, there's the Masonic Lodge, and it abuts the manufacturing area to the south side. But anyway, that property is apparently available, and it's right next to major activity area and target area. And your idea of a buffer is really important because it would be nice to see that it's more lower scale so that it blends in with the commercial area of Commerce Avenue so that, you know, it's an improvement for the community rather than being a high impact. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Somebody might have better words than I'm saying, but you know, that's too intense for the area.
I put up a bigger picture than what you showed, Cindy. Do you see that one now with the
Uh-huh.
green?
Yeah, it's great.
This is kind of what you had, but it's hard to see where you're, you know, that little one you have. So this one's much better, I think. But anyway,
Yeah, this one's nice. There's also another one that shows all the individual streets.
yeah, like this one here.
Yeah.
This is
and-
part of the, if you look the specific plan up, it's on the STNC website. It gives it more major areas and stuff.
I
because,
think this is the one right here. Go back a little bit to the major activity area 4.
Uh-huh.
I think that's on the Lowell, you know, the Lowell side.
Right, south side.
And that's all those stores and shops, all of that there. That's where they got the World
Well,
Gym is in there. The
Yeah,
cannabis shop is that new cannabis business is.
no, it's actually not, because this is up to Lowell. This is Lowell here. Here's
Okay.
Creamer, like gas stations going in here. So this is Albertsons and
Oh, I
Wells
see that.
Fargo.
Okay, then it must be target area.
Yeah, so it's let's see.
If you go to the target areas then.
Yates, Wingate, right in here probably. Greeley, where's Duncan? Yeah, this is right in here where that new Hillhaven.
Oh, no, this is Commerce. So
Huh?
go down one more box. Right here. Yeah, this is it. So you see you have Tonga Canyon right there and kind of one.
Oh, right here. Yeah, this is where basically the
Caesar's Banquet Hall is all
Yeah.
in there. This,
Yeah.
what is it
Yeah,
called?
so it's like
Yeah,
in
Ron.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
there's no buffer, like Burge is saying, there's no buffer to the residences that are right behind on Shady Grove. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, that's true. But it is a retail, but it's still, I think the problem with that is the daycare is saying what's within that 600 feet.
Mhm.
Daycare is right in here. And
But I didn't mean to get into the details of it. I was just am pointing
Yeah.
out that these target area, these areas are what the city looks at. Even
Yeah.
though we have the entire of Foothill Boulevard, 4.5 miles each way, they're gonna focus on these, the target and the major activity areas. So,
Okay. And like she said, there's so many, you know, we only see the ones that take out an application, the permits and this and that. There's several businesses in this town that just do what they want. And, you know, they just do what they want, put their own type of business in there, whether it's a permitted or not.
yeah, okay. So, thank you. I think, we don't wanna, I think it's important for people to kind of look at them closely themselves as much as they can. So hope you don't mind that I
Okay.
dish this out to you again. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make one comment under 8, PC, which, you know, we get these stores in here that people say, why do we need another one? But then again, we have a cleaners in Sunland, where the 7-Eleven is and the Geminelli's sandwich. The cleaners closed. That basically, as far as I know, is the only cleaners in Sunland. I don't know why they closed. Maybe they weren't any good, whatever, but you know, we could use other cleaners, but these other stores open up. I just thought I'd bring that to everybody's attention that they closed.
Okay.
And
Um,
can I add one thing also probably relevant to this? But if you remember the applicant for the project on Apperson and Foothill, he came here and he said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this lot, big lot.
Oh, yeah, right.
Do you see the results now?
Yeah, and I've talked to the chamber, the person that's kind of been very much in contact with him. He still doesn't know what he's doing. This is according to him, this is temporary
Mhm.
because of the fact he needs the rent money. So this is temporary, and I, you know, I noticed that somebody's already put a violation into the building and safety because it's not zoned for that. Well, I don't know if it's exactly zoned, but it did somebody put in a bill, something into building and safety. Trying to get building and safety to do something is
Mhm.
ridiculous. But according to him telling the chamber, this is just temporary until he really knows he can't afford the place to be without a tenant. So that's all I know about it. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. The next item was Liliana was gonna ask that this be put on the agenda, and so I assumed that she would be giving a presentation or update on it. She is not here tonight. I have no idea. I mean, I haven't been paying attention. Somebody's put it up, and I
Yeah,
know there's a couple of people here that want to know about it. If somebody can give a really fast recap of it, fine.
And there's a meeting coming up. I think it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. I can email it to you so you can send it to everybody. Anyway, the draft environmental impact report is out. Came out on the 2nd of September, and there's a 60-day window to respond and submit comments. And the preferred route that they're going with is SR 14A, which will cut through the Angeles National Forest, and it will run along the corridor to get into Burbank. So please go check out these documents. If there's particular areas that you like in particular, let me know, and I can put you in touch with other people who are really digging deep into this document. They are
Okay.
trying to extend the comment period time, but I'm not sure that will happen. So that's what I know about it, and I wanted to share that with you. And please, you know, take and get involved if you wish to. I don't know what Liliana knows about it other than it's been released. So
Is
Um,
it going under Sunland and Shadow Hills and substructures and?
No, well, not their preferred route.
Okay,
There are still 3 routes that are on the table, so to speak. But the one that was most concerning to us and closest to us is not.
Okay, so it comes out of the Angeles National Forest. It was eventually coming out at Wheatland. Where is it coming out of the Angeles Forest now?
Well,
On the Cagle Canyon side, over that side,
The what?
over on the Cagle Canyon side.
Oh, Cagle Canyons, okay.
do you share a
Um,
map of that?
Susan
Yeah.
has her hand up.
If
Susan?
you can share a map, Richard, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Hi, I just wanted to say, I started the deep dive into the draft EIR today, and there's a lot to learn yet. And there were a number of things that were concerning I'm from La Crescenta, and I belong to the Crescenta Valley Community Association. And I'm looking at the different routes. And I know from past EIRs that even though they've selected the preferred route being the most western one, there still will be impact across the board, not only from the Palmdale to Burbank segment, but also the Burbank to Union Station segment. And I really think it behooves everybody within the Crescenta Valley and within the corridor to look the best they can at this. And there will be people like me who will really, read it as thoroughly as we can. Couple of the, well, let me back up a little bit. I had the opportunity to talk to Anthony Portantino on Saturday, and he has already formally requested an extension of 30 days. So hopefully we'll get an extension for the comment period to December 1st. And I will let everybody know if for sure that has been extended. I'm sure you guys will hear as well. But there was a couple of red flags that made me nervous was they talked about the portal sites of the tunnels that will be tunneling under the Angeles National Forest. And they did make reference to sites on Little Tahunga Road and various places out within the corridor, Lakeview Terrace area. So I'm going to look further into that to see exactly what the impact is. If that's only for the E1 and E2 routes but what I've learned from the 710 tunnel fight is nothing is carved in stone until something is carved in stone. And so we can't just assume that E1 and E2 are going to be eliminated and not affect us. So just wanted to throw that out there and let you know I support fighting for Sunland Tahunga as much as I do fighting for La Crescenta and Burbank and all the surrounding areas.
thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay. Are there any other public comments on non-agenda items? Okay. Item 10, open applications for future meetings. As the agenda said, still waiting on the 6915. We're waiting on everything. I haven't yet the only one is like a 10D 8055 Foothill Boulevard. I have not yet had time to contact them to schedule. They want to make that into an urgent care. And then I did want to know 11337 Riverwood Drive, lot line adjustment to give property to a neighbor. I did finally get the early application. No, I have not seen it. I don't even know if if LUC wants to get involved in this, weigh in, or if we just wanted to bypass it. Can I have a concession on that? Is that the right word I use? I'm not taking a vote. I just want to know people's opinion. Cindy, what do you think?
Well, I think we should see the application, but at this point, by just what's written there, it looks like it's between neighbors.
How about you, Burge?
Yes, me too, I agree.
Betty?
I agree with Cindy.
Okay, Nina,
Would you repeat that?
there's a lot up at Riverwood Ranch. Riverwood Drive, everybody knows where Riverwood Ranch is, right? Up on the hill.
Yeah.
11337 is an application, a line lot adjustment to give the property to his neighbor. I haven't seen the whole application. It was just on the early notification, and that's all I really know about it. But I thought the guy wants to give property. It's kind of like the other one where, it's probably an easement and they're not using it and just give it to the other guy for whatever reason. But do we weigh in? I mean, do we just want to ignore it and not weigh in on it at all? or
I
do
think we
wanna-
should ignore it and let them figure it out since it's between two of them and it's not gonna affect the rest of the community.
Yeah, well, that was my thought too, but so far everybody thinks, what about you, Richard?
No, it's fine.
Okay, well, so far Cindy, Burge and Betty thinks we should, so I'll leave it on there till I get the application.
Well,
Formal.
I think that we need to know whether it's just between neighbors or not. And the only way we can do that is to look at it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't gotten it online nor in the mail yet, so I haven't seen
Well,
it
the
online.
neighbors are the ones that really have to weigh in on it.
Well, that's true. They may not want it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just leave it on here for now then, so I don't forget about it. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about? Okay, if everything's okay, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting at 8:53.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Thank
Bye.
you.